Hi, here you are, everybody. Welcome at Kiev. Dobre ranok, or is it already afternoon? I don't know. Cool stuff. Hey, we're going to talk about remote facilitation and scaled Scrum. Now, I'm using this mic because of the awful sound you heard this morning. That's the headset, so I have to do it like this. So the remote team and scaled Scrum. Scaled Scrum, in my opinion, is when you have more than one team. So probably everybody is doing scaled Scrum in some sort of way, bigger or smaller. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Of course, you know who I am. Some observations and some facts that I want to share with you. That's all going to go pretty quick, and then I want to spend some time on sending you home with a couple of recommendations. If you have a remote team sitting somewhere in a different location and communication is poor, then hopefully this session will help you a little bit in improving that. All right, 30 minutes to go. This is me. Let me have a good look at myself here. Looks good. So yeah, I've been doing this stuff for a while already. I'm not that long in Scrum Masters and Agile coaching things, but I've been in IT for a while. I've seen some things, and I must say that that whole Agile thing actually fits me the best. All the technical stuff is nice, but talking to people, getting things done in the processes and all that, that really is my thing. I work in the Netherlands. You all know Levi9. We work with Levi9. The company I work for that hires me is called Backbase. And what we do is we make a banking product. It's not the most rocket science, funky software, but it's a nice company. It's a nice project. This is the location where we are based in Amsterdam. Hello, happy you're joining. Take a seat. Yeah. You see, we have two tribes. You know what a tribe is, hopefully. Two tribes, and I'm the lucky guy because I'm doing the little tribe. That's good. You know, the other guys has got. I asked a friend, hey, do you want to come over to work at Backbase as well? There's a nice tribe and they still need a good Scrum Master. He's doing this one. He's got like 3 locations and stuff and a lot of people and a lot of chaos. And I've got a little bit of chaos with a couple of people. So we're doing fine here. What are we doing? We've got 2-week sprints. We try to put out a release every 3 sprints, which we are succeeding. We've got 1 Scrum Master per 2 or 3 teams. Actually, we don't have 1 product owner, but we got 2 or 3 people, and we've really agreed on them playing 1 role. They're aligning a lot. We've got 1 backlog. That's cool. With a lot of teams, you saw a lot of teams, 1 backlog. That's nice. We do overall refinements, sprint planning 1, sprint planning 2. I don't know if you recognize it, but this is what we call less. Some facts. Okay, let's go over this. Ladies and gentlemen, some research has been done. University of Maine, 2012. The weaker the medium, the less productive the collaboration. So, if you're having a video call with someone and the connection is bad, the output of your meeting will be low. Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. People also start doing other things because they're alone, nobody's watching. Oh, there's a message coming in. Yeah, I'm still paying attention to the meeting. Sure. Yeah. No way. So, get it right. Whenever you do a meeting and you're going to do it remote, you're going to have less results. And we are agile, aren't we? Boards, stickies, we want it all. So, how are we going to do this? Across a video call, right? You need to find a solution to get these stickies and the input from the people that are sitting in a remote location. We're going to have to find a way to do that. Another fact here is when you look at what the frameworks say, just read it. I was looking and I was a little bit surprised. Of course, the Agile Manifesto is pretty clear, face-to-face communication. Yeah, right, let's do that. But we're remote. Okay, anyway. The Scrum Guide doesn't really say anything about collocated teams. I've been looking, and again, they say something about it, don't they? There's a lot of stuff on the internet talking about collocation and Scrum, but the Scrum Guide itself doesn't say anything about it, neither does Nexus. Les does say something about it. They have a chapter in the latest book where they talk a little bit about collocated and dispersed teams. So it's the first framework I see that really addresses this issue. Yeah, SAFe is not on there. It fell off the of the sheet, I think. But Ollie is going to talk about SAFe after me. So if he wants to say something about remote teams, or if you have a question about SAFe and remote teams, you can ask him. Yeah, okay, go. Oh, right. So what we see is that the most agile frameworks, they're not against collocation, they're in favor of collocation, okay, but they're not really very explicit about it. Right. Another thing that's factual is the enormous amount of communication lines that we have as humans when we interact. When I'm talking to you, there's a one-on-one connection, there's one line. When the three of us are talking, 1, 2, 3. When 4 people start talking together, look what happens when you're 5. It's incredible. The amount of communication lines really goes up. So with my number of teams, I'm having about 4,000 lines of communication going on. Wow, that's a lot. And then half of them or a quarter of them are not in the same place. So what happens with that stuff? Does it just evaporate? Does it get lost? So when I'm talking in this lecture about collocated teams, then that means a dev team sitting in one room. If we talk about remote teams, it's a dev team sitting together in a room somewhere else. And multi-site teams are teams that have members in separate locations. They're on multi-sites, okay. Everything good so far? Still alive, all right. The recap, this is what we see, facts. Now, I've got my own observations. I spy it with my little eye when I work on the floor. And what I see happening is poor alignment, really. I hope the sound is going to work. This is a little video of, well, a remote session. It's a stand-up.
I'm sorry, Miranda, you're breaking up. You're very hard to hear, but I trust that you will take care of these tickets.
That's
Okay.
probably, yeah.
What?
Yeah, network.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, it's got to be taken care of. I doubt it, okay. Right, so look at this. I was here, sitting in Kiev. This was one of the product owners, well, part of him. And we were talking about security, my favorite subject. Guys, please take care of your presentation when you do a remote facilitation, because this is horrible. I mean, we have been watching this guy's belly for an hour. No, people, and then after you know what happens after the session? When I Skype the guy and the guy's like, hey, how is it? Yeah, right. How was the session? Oh man, now you're there, please fix that. These people in Kiev are so passive, really. Ooh. It's not the Kiev problem, man. Hey, I already said it, we love Stickies. So this is a nice one. We had a big retrospective. We had a year's work and we wanted to look back and see how things were. And this is a giant board. It's as big as you can see it. It's a wall. We've been drawing some lines on it for the dates and asked everybody to, as they passed for a week long, to put stickies on the wall of stuff that happened in May or June or whatever that they thought was very important just before, you know, this was a release date. Nice, but where are the Kiev people? Where's the remote people putting input? I got some mails, I print those mails and I put them on the wall, but as we were going to discuss all this, again, how can we involve these Kiev people? Real collaboration, when you have a good agile setup, you can feel it when you walk into a room and people are working and they're truly agile. Then there's this vibration going on. People are really collaborating, they have good ideas and they walk up to each other and then stuff emerges, you know? So these teams, this is people of 3 different teams and they're talking about problems. But nobody gets to, really nobody, it jumps in nobody's mind to go, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't we involve the remote teams as well? It just doesn't happen. Meaning that this communication, these decisions maybe that have been taken here are not shared at all. Another thing I noticed, that's me in the middle, and a couple of guys working remotely. The funny thing is we were having a short meeting, And these 3 people are sitting in the same office space. Yeah, that's right. This one is home. These 3 people are sitting in the same office space. Why don't they just go sit together in one room? Wouldn't that be easier if I want to have some kind of interaction going on? So, I should have said that. I was too late. But now I know. I've learned. Yeah, working with some colleagues here, trying to do some mapping stuff on the wall, and we started this session sitting down, working on a table with the camera pointing on top of the table. Didn't work, so we moved to the wall. This is Jaroslav here. You can see him. I'll make him a little bit more visible there. Almost asleep. There was no sticky here from Jaroslav, and that's not because Jaroslav was not able to give any input because he didn't understand what it was about. It was because we were trying to get him involved remotely, and it just didn't work. So there's some room for improvement here for what we're doing. Another observation, when you have a multi-site team, so again, that's one team with people in multiple locations, every meeting is just harder. It's just harder. You have to work harder to get people involved and to get your message across, to make sure that people understand what you're saying. You don't have informal contacts. Do you have multi-site teams where people, just for fun, Skype each other and have a chat about how things are going at home with the kids? I doubt it. So that means that it's harder to build trust and respect because you're not really meeting each other anymore as people. It's just a face you talk to during a meeting. Then I also noticed that cross-functionality is already a problem when you have when you're Scrum Master working with teams to get the teams really to become cross-functional. That's a challenge. But when people are not sitting in the same space, try to get them collaborate really to become cross-functional is almost impossible, I would say. Yeah, and I also see that the number of issues that they explore, that number is lower. So I would rather not have remote teams actually, or multi-site teams. But anyway, less helps. Less is I hope you all know the less framework. And it's nice actually the way they designed it because one of the basic things they depend upon is that you have end-to-end feature teams. And now an end-to-end feature teams means that you put work in it, let's keep it simple, and they're able to process it by themselves. They don't need a lot of interaction with people around them. They might have during multiple multi-team refinement sessions, and you will have like overall sprint planning 1 is with everybody, also the remote people. Means 70 people, of which maybe 20 remote, trying to get sprint planning 1 done, which is a challenge. So there's some benefits and some downsides, but on the other hand, the amount of communication moments, the amount of required communication lines during the sprint is pretty low. So that's kind of cool. I've noticed that a lot of problems that we have that appear to be a problem related to having a remote team is actually just a basic Scrum problem. We didn't get our basic Scrum right, and then we're surprised about, why don't they do what we asked them to, or why isn't things going the way we think they should be doing, picking up actions at stand-up or something like that. Probably it's just because we didn't really get them going very well with that Scrum in the first place. Did you ever hear of the term local optimization? You know what that is? Yeah, you did? A lot of people don't, okay. So local optimization means that, let's suppose that you pick a team and you ask the team to be responsible for automating the tests. So they're the test automation team. Then they will optimize that goal. They will make the most brilliant tests ever made, and they will make them brilliantly automated. That's all fine, but no customer wants to pay for automated tests, you know? They want to have customer value. So that means that they optimize for the wrong thing. As soon as you separate a team for what reason, if you separate them for a skill or because of a location, then they will start optimizing locally. Right. Hey, that was a couple of days ago. That was yesterday. Yeah, we're social people. We're very social animals. We want to connect and talk to people, and we have all different cultures. Yeah. So I'm happy here in Kiev that I've learned a little bit about your culture, and I hope you're going to do soon when you come to Amsterdam to talk a little bit about the wooden shoes and the tulips. Right, so these were the facts. When we move on, then you see these areas where you're going to be in trouble trying to work with remote teams. Well, maybe not necessarily trouble, but they're areas of attention. Right, the fun part. Recommendations. So just don't have multi-site teams. Yeah, but that's easy. I came into Backbase and they had 2 multi-site teams. 3 weeks later, they were gone. We're talking about a scaled Scrum. That means that you have lots of people. You just rearrange them. What's the difficulty? It's not that difficult. You just have to be aware that having these teams split over separate locations really drastically brings down your effectivity of your meeting. So stop doing that. Okay, this is a nice example of a meeting we had. Look at the guy. Yeah. I mean, this is just locally. If the meeting locally doesn't work, then what are you going to do with the people listening in remotely? They're going to be asleep even more than he is. All right. So fix your basic Scrum problems. Go see. I fly to Kiev. Come and have a look here. Talk to people. Really start the teams the way you start the team everywhere. Make sure that you get a powerful feature team that can take care of themselves. And then you will find out that, well, your communication will get better. That's nice. So, easy fixes. All right, we had this Skype session just now, remember? And at the end, her camera wasn't on, so we couldn't see who was presenting this story. It could have been a recording, you know? And then we turned around stuff to show her the room, because she didn't even know for whom she was presenting. Wow, it was not a very interactive thing, I can tell you. But yeah, first things first. If you want to make sure that everybody understands what the effect is of being remote, make sure everybody has been remote in a meeting. Or at least experience that, hey guys, we can't hear you, can't hear you. And then you start doing hip chats, sending out through other channels to make sure that people understand that we've lost contact. So everybody should experience that. It will drastically improve the quality of your meetings. Simple stuff, talk to your IT guys, 10 minutes? Okay, that's good. Is it okay, 10 minutes? Otherwise I'll tell them to make it 15. No? All right. Yeah, fix technical infrastructure and fix your team communication skills. Do training. Get people involved and get people to be aware of what they need to do to get people involved when they're remote. Okay, now this is the same team, and this is a little bit later, and we fixed some of these infrastructural problems.
All right. I see this move back to progress. There is some bug.
Yes, there is a bug there because the canonical field that is used for link ref is not behaving correctly.
It's a girl on the video, right? It's not. This is a guy. He's not talking. Okay?
I'll ask you how to reproduce it. I saw the screenshot.
Easy. Yeah, it's easy. We just make it read-only, and it's.
Yeah, so everybody understands what's going on. Although she's remote, she's really participating in the conversation. It feels very natural. Yeah, optimize your ceremonies for remote participation. Nice recommendation, easy one as well. Make sure that the video of the people is at least as big as they're in real life. Because otherwise you're looking at these small images and you go, oh, what is that? You can't follow anything. 70% of our communication was non-verbal, remember? 70%, 7-0. You have to see people, their expressions, to be able to read them. I really like the idea of having multiple points of view so I can switch when I'm remote if I want to see the audience or if I want to see the presenter doing this stuff. Please, come on, it's not that difficult. Remotify your meeting techniques. We do lean coffees and all that, all these nice. You have to transfer them, experiment with getting them to be usable for remote teams. And it's not that hard. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of collaboration tools that you can use. For instance, this is, I think, Google Draw. Everybody of the team was in there. And yeah, a speeding car. All the team puts in their little pictures, stuff, and there's an outcome. Everybody's involved, everybody participates. Easy peasy. People who facilitate should be aware that they are facilitating for remote teams. Make sure that you verify whether the remote teams are still there. Make sure that you monitor or have monitored that the connection is still working. If there's a problem with the connection, stop the line. Stop the line means first fix the problem, then continue your meeting, because it's no use going on in your meeting, taking a decision, talking about the discussion, and then other people not giving the opportunity to understand what where you're going to. They will drop in later and they will detach. All right, diverge and converge is a very powerful tool because you can diverge the people that are remote to work on a part of the problem and then converge to report back what they found out, just as you do it locally. This was a couple of days ago. It's really, I love it, it's awesome, it's brilliant. This guy is called Raphael, and he's doing a technical session, and this is the start of the meeting, okay? Watch him.
Should we start? So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Simba. Not really, it's not Simba. I just really like the name. I wish my parents called me Simba. Anyway, let's start off I'm sorry, yeah, it just brought me down memory lane.
All right, so stop laughing.
So,
Everybody's awake. Everybody's awake, right? He makes a very good entrance. It's a good start of a meeting. He loves the mic and he loves his audience. Good. When you have multiple sites, there's always a head office. And there's a tendency to make the head office more important than the other sites. That's horrible. Why are the other teams less important than the team in the head office? That doesn't make sense. So I propose, and what I do, and it works very well, is to put the weight into other places. Go on doing a sprint review from a remote location instead of from the head office. Okay, emulate daily life. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I'm running out of time. Make your picture and then take the next one. Okay, this is daily life. We're just making fun. Cultural differences. Yeah, I read it off this one. You know, when I come into Kiev, we shake hands every morning and everybody treats me with a warm welcome. You guys eat a lot. You really eat a lot, you know. Even for lunch and in the evening, it's incredible. And the heating is always so high. Ah, it's incredible. And when I walk in the street and I don't wear a hat, people immediately see that I'm not from Kiev. We're really different. All right. Now, this is important. Reduce the need for communication. That's the easiest way to get your remote teams more up to speed. How do we do that? If you have time zones and you can eliminate them, then do that. Maybe there is no need for having people sitting in different time zones, or just group them in these time zones as a feature team. So, this is an easy setup. We're making one product, so there's one product owner. We've got a couple of teams, and we've got two value areas. A value area is what people also call requirement area, but that's an IT term. I don't really like it. To me, it's value area from a customer perspective. So these teams are working on the same stuff, and these teams are working on other stuff. If you see the line that we have between the two locations, then this is not an ideal situation because this is the need for communication you have. You're going to have to communicate about within this product. You're going to have a lot of communication going within the team across the value areas and about the product as well. So if we quickly see what happens if you change that, wow, this is good. Because now, if possible, and you have two products, you can define two products, then there will be no communication anymore because there's one increment, one sprint review for one product. So this would be the ideal situation, but separating on value areas is fine. Okay, so it could give you a lot of possibilities to reduce your number of communication lines if you look at how you set up your scaling model. When you're going to split splitting means putting teams with a certain function somewhere, then don't do it this way, because you will get that local optimization. You need communities to make this work. If there's multiple locations, the only way to get people really to stay connected to each other is to have chapters and guilds and all that kind of stuff, to communicate on the things they really care about. And of course, this is strictly voluntary, but you can help as an agile coach to make sure that the weight for where these people are and what they're driving, which community they are driving, that it's in balance. You have to keep that in check. All right, so here we are. We were talking about all these facts and where you will be finding your problems, and then the end result would be to have a look at your processes. You can fix your basic Scrum problems, and oh, lost connection. Oh no. You can look at your organizational model and design your scaling for remote. I think that's a wise decision. Please avoid multi-site teams. They're not going to help you. And then, of course, the tooling and techniques. That's the easy part. There's the quick wins. They're there. Let's all do that. We're all coaches. We're all Scrum Masters. So let's please go for making it social. You know, fixing your infrastructure, training the people as well. Easy stuff. So, we're there. How many minutes? 0. Okay. So, I don't know, there's time for questions or not? No? Whatever you want? Okay. Questions, not food? Oh, wait a minute, I have a last slide, I think. Jacuyo. That's it? Oh. It's only one word, it's so easy. Okay, no questions, good. Just send me a mail. Oh, there's somebody waving at me. Hi. Want to come forward?
Questions? Okay. Hi. So you mentioned LESS, large enterprise scale Scrum. In LESS, the product owner typically is essentially an Uber product owner. They're like a CEO product owner. They come down from their lofty heights, work with the team, then they withdraw back up the top, and when the team wants to get information about the organization, they actually will go out, reach out to the organization and work with the marketing area or the HR, the law area, whatever area it is, if they're typically a software team, because LESS is very software orientated. So what do you think about this idea of a part-time product owner in LESS?
Part-time product owner. I don't see why you would call it part-time, actually. My product owner is a full-time product owner. And what he does is he prioritizes work for the teams, and he has a vision on what needs to be done with the product. And then he talks a lot to customers, and he gets this information and delivers like a rough backlog of stuff that he thinks is very important. There's maybe a visionary map of what the competitors do in the back of his mind. And then the teams, they get cracking on that stuff. They start talking to customers to whom the product owner introduces them. And doing that work is a full-time job.
Sure, but in LESS, they're not with the team the whole time. They're not learning with the team. They're not present with the team because they're away, essentially doing their other jobs outside and away from the team. So they're not with the team and growing and learning with the team.
That's correct.
Communicating with the team, right?
Yeah.
So how does that marry with your expectations of communication with the team?
Yeah, so this is a less question and not a remote facilitation question, but I have an opinion on that. So I think what I saw with product owners that were working very close to the team and doing all these learnings, like you say, and evolving with the teams, they became the analyst for the team. And the team was leaning backward, waiting for the product owner to have the story finished. And the refinements, they were like contract negotiations, whether the acceptance criteria were clear enough for the team so that the story was ready enough for them to start building it. So there's this bad side of having a product owner totally always available for the teams, And there's of course a bad side of having a product owner that's never there. And it's a good product owner who knows they know how to share their energy to give enough information to the team so they can evolve and understand more about the product and put their own learnings on the product development in there. Yeah?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah? Okay, you're welcome.
One question. Last.
Food.
Yeah, hello to everybody. So
Hello.
we have 9 teams in organization in our department. 1 is in Germany, 4 in Copenhagen, and 4 in Kiev. So far we have 2 great planning events when we get together and plan everything. But our executives want to save money, so they want that we organize a kind of virtual planning event next time. So nobody will travel, we'll stay in our office and try to do this work. Is it some pitfalls? Is it possible at all?
Yes, it's very good possible. Ideally, instead of spending money on flights to get everybody together, I would spend a lot of money on infrastructure. So you can have a wall, a video wall in every office as big as this one, and you can see everybody. The only thing that's missing from that solution is that it's a really teleportal, that you could walk into it to go into that other office. That's for the future. So for now, I would say invest in good video connections and good utilities to make sure that the people are, distance, you can do away with distance by using a video and audio channel. So I would use that, and it works. But you have to continuously work on it and have it like a very visual thing on your radar that it's something you need to improve, because it's not easy. It's not easy to get there. I'm going to be doing hopefully an experiment with a video wall like that, because I think that would be the ultimate solution, because we're now working with television screens everywhere. And when you're sharing your desktop, then you can't see the video anymore, that kind of stuff. It's horrible. It's just simple things you have to get rid of. Make sure you see the stuff that you talk about, and you see the people, you see the presenters, everybody, then you'll get there. And it does work then, yes. Okay. Hey, thanks everybody.